Okay, Rabbi Sai, this is the second of the three in the series. Lech Lecha Vayeira Chayasora, because as we said in the last year, Lech Lecha, there was the blackout, Sandy. I couldn't do it. This is the end of the third week, the first week, and the blackout week, and now this one here. So now we're doing each one 20 minutes. Lech Lecha Vayeira Chayasora. We're number 2 of 3. Vayeira. Okay, the Parsha says, Vayeira Elov Hashem Be'olonei Mamre. God appeared to him in the plains of Mamre. That's a tzaddik, his friend, Mamre. Because he had 3 friends. One told him, don't do the bris, you're too old. That's on there. The other one, Eshkol, said, let's weigh it like a mishkol, a weight. Maybe yes, maybe not. Mamre says, Mamar Aleph, Mamar Kale, do what God says. So, since Mamre was his name, he's mentioned in Torah many times. He said, go ahead, Mamar, El, Mamre, Mamar Aleph. Listen to the Hashem, the one. And he did it, that's why he gets honorable mention. Okay, now let's take a look. Vayeira Elov Hashem Be'olonei Mamre, the plains of Mamre. That's near Hebron, Kiryas Arba. Who Yosef Pesach Ohel was sitting at the tent of the door of the tent, Kechom Yom, in the heat of the day. So Avram just had a bris milah at the end of the last Seder. He was 99. It's the third day after a bris. And the third day starts to heal any wound, any operation. That's the most painful. So from here you learn that it's the biggest mitzvah is to visit a sick person on the third day. And from here we learn the biggest mitzvah to visit a ovel on the third day. That's when it hurts the most. And that's where you give him the biggest nichum. And here, by a chole, mavakechole, the third day is the most important. So Hashem comes, who Yosef Pesach Ohel, sitting at the doorway of the tent, Kechom Yom, in the heat of the day, because Avram had just 3 days ago, 99 years old, 3 days ago, he had a bris, by the way, on Yom Kippur, him and Yishmael, on Yom Kippur, that's right. And it was the third day, and he was suffering, but he was much more suffering from the fact that it was so hot, Hashem made it so hot, no orchim came by, and he was the max, the greatest machnas orch in the world. He's Amud Chesed, the kindest man on earth. He was sitting in the heat, even though he was just had an operation 3 days before. On the third day, worst pain. He looked around, picked up his eyes. Maybe there's orchim here. 3 people standing on him. That means in front of him. Anoshim. They look like men because Abraham saw Malachim all day long. They're like people. He saw them always. And they looked like people because he saw them always. They saw them standing in front of him. When he saw that, he ran toward them. He passed from the door, the way of the tent, which means from the shade into the heat. He bowed down to the ground, Vayomar, and he said, Adoni, my master. Well, there are 3 people. You should say Adonim or something. No, to the middle one, because usually when 3 people walk on the road, the greatest one, the most honorable one, the greatest tzaddik is always in the middle, and either side you have people to help him. Or when they sit at a suda, the tzaddik is always in the middle. So he said to the middle one, we later learned his name is Michael, the defender of Yisrael. That's the one who's going to tell Sorosh he's going to have a child. And the one on the right, and the one on the left, one is Raphael, who's going to cure Abraham, Rophe, and the other one is Gavriel, Gover, overpower Sodom. So he said to Adoni, my master, Adonai, my master, if you want to do me a favor, don't pass by your servant. Some say he said to Hashem. So machlokas, is this word Adonai Chol or Kodesh? Hashem, could you wait a minute? I have these 3 people to take care of. From here you learn, says Rashi, your business with Hashem in life is secondary to your business with people. Mikan Gemilas Chasod Achdasas Orchim is greater than Kabbalas Panei Ashchina. Hashem doesn't need your food and your hospitality. He can wait. You put Hashem number 2. That's the Iker Creed of Yahadus. Yom Kippur is sins between Adam and Chaveira, not between you and Hashem. When you get to Shemayim, they ask you 6 questions. You know what the first one is? Were you a crook? Did you buy and sell honestly? Were you a thief, cheat, gazlan? Did you sign papers that were not true? Did you say stuff that's not true? The first thing, they don't care. In the first grade, not if you believed in God, if you kept Shabbos, nothing. Were you a ganef? No soso, no sato, did you buy and give, sell and take? Did you intermingle with people honestly? Is your word a word? Is your no a no and a yes a yes? Were you a deceiver, cheater, liar, thief, ganef, gazlan? If you were, you got to go to rehab. It's called Gehenna. And when you get out of there, you go to Gan Eden. Both start with a Gimel. You get to Shemayim, there's 2 doors. Gimel, Gimel. Which one you want to go to? Probably the one on the right is Gan Eden. The one on the left is Gehenna. That's rehab. Then when you come back, they say, the Kavat Eatim Torah. Did you give, put aside certain times for Torah? That's not when you get around to it. Certain fixed times per day. Every day, that time. Not when I get around to it. No. Kovato Eatim. Did you make a fixed time every day to learn Torah? Like you have a fixed time to go to bed and go to work and eat breakfast and lunch and supper. Did you have a fixed time for Torah? Or was it casual? And then it says, third question, Sufisa Yeshua, we're waiting for Yeshua. Were you waiting for salvation? You were? How come you have a $20 million house and 3 of them and 5 boats? Really waiting for Mashiach? When you have waiting for Mashiach, this stuff got to go. You're really waiting for Mashiach? You're going to go give up all that and live in some basement in Yerushalayim near the coastal? Really? A little house there somewhere? Or 50 miles away, 200 miles away in Sfas? Really? You know, the first people going to run from Mashiach, the poor, not the rich. Cool. So peace of Yeshua. Then they ask you other questions. Osakta, Bapiri, Rivia, did you have children? More and more. Pirio, Rivia, children, grandchildren. Pilpalta, did you get involved in Kabbalah? If you're ready for that. All kind of questions they ask you. But the first question is, were you a ganef? If you were out of here, I don't want to see you. So he said to Kodesh Baruch Hu, wait a minute. After he took 2-3 hours, this thing, to shech 3 animals and roast a tongue. And then the guy went back to Hashem. And besides, what did Hashem say to him here when he came to Mabakeh Cholo on the 3rd day? Nothing. We learned from this a halacha. When you come to Bikkur Cholim or Nicha B'Avelim, don't say anything. Just show up. Let the man see you took off of your time to be with him, to share with him his pain and his Nichama and Menachem Avelim. Or you don't have to say anything. Just be there. If he talks to you, you answer. You're not supposed to talk until he talks to you by Avelim. Maybe what you're talking about, he's not interested, and you're maybe a big Talmud Chacham and doesn't want to interrupt you. You're not allowed to talk to an Avel until he talks to you. Just be there for 30 minutes, and that's Nichem Avelim. Hashem didn't say a word. From here you learn. Just show up. That's the mitzvah. He told Hashem, wait a minute, because from here you learn that Olam Chaveru is more important than Olam Mokam. Mikan Shachnosa Zorchim Godol. The whole Hashkafa comes out here. If you learn Torah slowly, you learn all Hashkafa correctly. Every letter and word of the Torah is multi-layered, deep stuff is in every word. You kach no mat mind, take a little water. Wash your feet. You thought maybe they're Arabs, they worship the sun, which means it heats the sand, therefore they worship the sand and heat it by the sun. So wash the Avodah Zarah off your feet. He says, wash it off. Yishanu Tachazech, and lean down next to the tree. Why not sit down? They don't have chairs in those days. They sat on the ground, but noble people maybe should stand. And they want to say that Min HaShemayim, it hinted here, that Avram didn't know till these went away. They were really malachim because malachim have no knee joints. Your knee joint means you bend your leg, you sit down. Because the malach, after you finish with his job, he disappears. He vaporizes, he's gone. What do you have to sit down for? When you finish, you disappear. A person goes to work, then he comes home and rests. The malach doesn't rest, he does his job, he disappears. He doesn't need a knee to sit down. They have no knee joints. You don't have to bend their knees and sit down. Lean against the tree. I'll take a little bread. I'll get some bread. You can support yourself. It means refresh yourself, because bread is the staff of life. Take a little water. Drink it to drink, and some to wash your feet. And I'll get a little bread. Sadu libchem, refresh yourself. Then you can go on your trip. I'm so lucky you passed your servant. I'm so happy to do this mitzvah of Haknosas Orchim. The Yom Kain says, we'll do it. Kashidi Barta, like you said. Avram saw in every person that Selam Elokim. When he honored people, he was honoring Hashem. A person who respects other people, doesn't cheat, lie, and steal, sees the neshama in every person. That's why he serves Hashem, by treating people honestly. A person sees that Selam Elokim in every human being. That's how he honors God. Because you have a Selam Elokim. Some people do Aveiros because they don't know any better. Have pity on them. You see a Yid who went to maybe yeshiva and he went through the worst sorrows in the world, and then you meet him 40 years later and he's not Bekuris, he doesn't believe in God and everything. Where was God in the Holocaust? The Reform rabbi told me. Yeah. And where were you before the Holocaust? You kept Shabbos. You married a Jewish woman. You believe Torah is going to Shemayim. You check your clothes for Shabbos. You eat kosher. You put on tefillin. Where were you? You're a traitor. What do you mean? Hashem should take this and you spit at his Torah and you should not do anything? It started with Mendelssohn, 1775, 150 years, 1933. Hashem should never show any reaction. It says in the Torah twice. Tochacha, what will happen to you when you violate the Torah? He will punish you. Hashem ohev tzadikim, but he's going to punish Rishoyim. Hello, you got to do your side to get good, and you don't, you get punished. So, take your little bread, he said, and then we'll do like you said. Yimar Avram Ha'oloi went into the tent. The El Sora, V'yom Mari Shosh Sim Kemach. Make 3 measures of Kemach, of flour, soulless, and not even regular flour, but soulless, fine, sifted flour. Lushi kneaded. Vasi Ugos, make these round cakes. It was Pesach. Because they told her she's going to have a child next year. And Yitzchak was born Seder night, 15th of Nisan. That's why Moshe, when he made the Mishkan, it was finished around Chanukah time. He waited 4 months till Nisan, when Yitzchak was born. Because this is about Yitzchak. Because Yitzchak is the father of Geula. Hashem said, and it says in the Medrash, when the Mashiach will come, Hashem is going to come to Abraham and say, "B'necha chatu, your children sin." They said, Abraham said, "Yeah, we'll get rid of them then. After 5,000 years, get rid of them." He comes to Yaakov, he said, "B'necha chatu, your children are not religious, they don't believe in the Torah. Get rid of them," he said. He comes to Yitzchak, he says, "No. They don't know, let's excuse them, and half the day they don't do any Aveiros because they're eating and sleeping. And I'll tell you what, Hashem, you take half the Aveiros, and I'll take half the Aveiros. It's all the schus of Yitzchak. Therefore, he's the father of Geula. Therefore, Moshe, the Mishkan was finished 25th of Kislev. And he waited 4 months to put it up in Nisan when Yitzchak was born, the father of Geula. That's why when they put the blood on in Mitzrayim, on the 2 doorposts and the top one, Abraham and Yaakov, Yitzchak is the top lintel, Mashkov. He holds up the house. So, make Ugos. It was Pesach. Well, Boker Rotzav Avram ran to the cattle. Vayikach ben Boker Rafetov, he took 3 cattle, sludge, gave it to Yishmael, so he gave him a side and a mitzvah. Because Yishmael was a Baal Tshuva, He was a Russia till 17. To Sora threw him out of the house, and he was thrown under one of the trees, Sichim. Under the tree, Sichim, he had a soch conversation with Hashem. He realized that he's got sick only because he's a Russia, and he became Tshuva the rest of his life. Well, here we know that the Yishmaelim will do Tshuva at the end of time. So he, Siach means Sarich, the talk, the talk. That's why a salesman is called a Socher, and an employee is called a Skir. Shin, Chav, Yud, Reish. Skir has a tally, has a job, he gets a schar. But the man who owns the business is called a Socher, a businessman, because he's salesman, you got to talk and sell merchandise. So he ran to 3 animals and took 3 tongues. Eaten on a nar, he gave it to Yishmael, who was 13 years old, who was at that time 13, was not yet a Russia, because Abram was 99, and Yitzchak was born at 86, 14 years old, he was not yet a Russia, and Vayimahir Lasos, because he was a Russia at 17 when they threw him out of the house. Vayimahir Lasos, and he went quickly to do it. So he took the chemo and the cream, the cholav and the milk, Ben Abokar and the meat. Asher also eaten lafneim. He would eat the put in front of them. The who omed aleim tachas. He stood on top of them. That means in front of them. Tachas ate vayochelon, and they ate. How can you bring meat and milk together? No, he didn't. He brought milk first. It says then meat. What's wrong with that? And number 2, where's the bread? Answer is she became a nidah. Avram was 99, almost 100, and she was 89, almost 90. When she had a child next year, he was 100. So the bread. So right away, she knew these 3 people sitting outside. They're not regular people. Got 89 become a nidah. He knew right away that they are malachim, and therefore their bread became tummy because she's a nidah. And Avram and Sarah ate their chulin betara, even their chulin was not korbanos. The betara, and therefore she didn't serve any bread, only meat. And the milk came before the meat. Now, from here you learn. Tzaddikim talk little and do a lot. He says, sit down here, gentlemen, I'll give you some bread and water. He brought no bread, he bought tongue with mustard and all the goodies. Because Tzaddikim talk a little and do a lot. Ephron, this crook, who sold Avraham the Ma'aris HaMachpelah later on, he says, no, it's free, take it. Avram understood, no, I know better. I know next generation they're going to say, you didn't pay for this, get out of here, take your mates out of here. So Avram said, no, please, let me hear the price. He says, no, the field's given to you already. So Avram said, the money's already set up for you, I can't take it back. they were on the same frequency. Ephron realized he's dealing with a very smart person. He says, okay. From 3 it went to 400 shekels. And the code of Hammurabi said in those days, a person made 8 shekels a year. 400 shekels for a hole in the ground. Rip-off real estate deal like there ever was. And then Rashi says, Kanturian, there were centurions. Every coin was worth centa, 100 times more. 400 became 40,000 shekels for a hole in the ground. This is a man who said, take it free. Rishoyim say a lot, do nothing. Tzaddikim say nothing and do a lot. That's how you learn. Okay, Rabbi, so we're finished for this time, and the next year will be on Chayesara, and because if you can't go for 45 minutes for each year, it'll take, I don't know, an hour and a half. You can't sit there that long. Have a good day. Have a good day. Like